Hello, I'm Stephen Cooley, and welcome to the Stephen Cooley Real Estate Show. And it's always an honor to have Julie Storm on the show with me. Welcome back to the show, Julie.
Thank you, Stephen. Pleasure to be here
We've
today.
been giving great information out for 18 years about local real estate, and we're continuing to do it today.
Yes. So I understand you've got an interesting topic today, talking about people's credit and how that affects maybe buying a home. Maybe some people think they can't buy a home because of their credit, and you've got some great examples and some good advice. So I'm interested to hear about that.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, Julie, when interest rates are higher, a lot of time your house payment and rent runs around the same thing. But because interest rates are so low right now and rent has gone up so much, you can own cheaper than you can rent. We just had a situation where some folks were renting a home and the landlord decided to sell the home that the renters were living in. And the renters wanted to buy the house. And so they were paying $1,500 a month rent, and we sold them the home that they were already living in. And now the payment to buy the home is less than $900 a month.
Wow.
So they're saving over $600 a month by owning the home.
Yeah.
And this is even before they now are able to write off their payments, the interest in their payments, and you can't write off rent. And so they're saving almost $600. Now $600 a month over 12 months is over $7,000 a year that they have saved. And now as the home appreciates in value, they get the appreciation instead of the landlord. So it's a great opportunity. A lot of folks, not everyone, but a lot of folks are renting because their credit's not perfect.
Right.
You know, we're offered credit cards now in high school and college.
Absolutely.
And I haven't seen a course that teaches you how to manage this credit that you've been offered. And so once you have a credit card, it's very tempting to go out and buy all the things that you really wanted. And a lot of young people are getting their credit dinged early in life, and then they have to rent. So I just came up with about 10 things that you can do to get control of your credit. And of course, the best thing to do is never overextend yourself in the first place. It's fine to have credit cards. It actually helps your credit to have open lines of credit. But if your credit card limit is $5,000, the less you owe on that limit, the more space they see that you don't abuse.
Right.
So it helps your credit. So opening a credit card, having a $5,000 or $10,000 limit on it, and then having a very low balance, using the credit card, but keeping a low balance or paying it off every month does wonders for your credit.
Shows a little bit of stability there that you're disciplined,
Absolutely. And the first thing I just want to say is, some of us are just chronically late. I've got friends who are chronically late.
Yeah.
My one great thing is I'm on time, and my one pet peeve is people who aren't. But a lot of people run late, and a lot of people just run late on making payments. They make all their payments every time. They make them a day or two late, and that destroys your credit. So number one is just make your credit payments on time. Make sure when you mail it, if you're not doing it online, you're giving room for it to get there before the deadline. 1 day, 2 day, 3 day late payments ruin your credit. So
maybe set a reminder on your phone or something to say,
Absolutely,
send a payment.
Absolutely. Stop charging is the best way to start reducing debt.
Yeah.
And that is just a simple thing that a lot of people don't understand. Reduce credit card debt, and I just talked about that. If you've got a $5,000 limit, the more space you live there that you don't use is assigned to the credit companies that you can manage money. But if you've got a $5,000 limit and you keep it at $5,000, that just proves that if they gave you a 10, you'd spend 10. So keeping that low. Don't apply for new credit. When you go into the mall, everybody says, would you like a blank card? And it's the name of the card. Just opening those cards can hurt your credit. You should have a credit card or two, but having one to every department store and every gas station will hurt your credit, so don't do those. Do not consolidate credit cards because it will take the balance of one credit card so high that it hurts you. Do not close credit cards. The better way to improve your credit, now I close all credit cards, but I'm not trying to get my credit any higher. But if you're trying to improve your credit quickly, reduce the debt on the credit cards to zero if you can, then put the credit cards in a drawer and close the drawer. Don't close them, because having an open credit that you don't use is a great sign that you're a great credit risk. So if you've gone through a relationship breakup, whether it's a divorce or anything, and if you've combined any accounts or any credit, separate those quickly, because when that person's no longer in your life, you don't know what they're buying and what they have control over, which leads into something else. Do not co-sign for a house, a car, credit cards, or anything unless you're going to make sure those payments are made and made on time, because the person you co-signed for may be one of those folks that makes a payment a day late, and the next thing you know, you go and buy a home and you've got bad credit. And you say, well, oh, I co-signed for someone. We have that happen so often. We want to help young people get their cars and get credit cards and get houses and co-sign for their leases. But when they make late payments, it destroys not only their credit, but yours. So, if you're hurting your credit, that's one thing. If you're letting other people hurt it, that's another thing. And it's a very common thing that happens. Get a credit, go online, get a free credit report, and correct anything wrong on it. Wrong things appear, you can appeal them and get them removed. Almost all of us at some point in our life gets something wrong on our credit. So if you see something on there, just get it off and apply for that. Do not apply for a lot of credit checks though, because that can that can look like you're up to something to them. At all costs, if you can, avoid bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Because bankruptcy absolutely destroys your credit much worse than anything else. The last thing is negotiate with credit companies that you owe to. If it's a medical bill, or if it's just something you haven't paid and it sits in your past, call them and see if they will negotiate the payoff. And when they negotiate that, get in writing that they're settling for a lesser amount and that they will remove it from your credit score, and oftentimes they will negotiate that. Not all of everybody you owe will negotiate that, but if you haven't paid somebody, that haunts you for almost ever. And so if you will call and negotiate that, sometimes they'll take less money and then they'll take it off your credit score. So those are just some things that can get some folks who are renting that's iffy on the credit, and then reach out to us. We'll put you with a mortgage lender that will then pull it up and say, okay, pay this off, don't pay this off, do this and do that, and it'll bump it up one more time, and then you qualify for a loan. There's some loans out there for people with challenged credit. It's just higher interest rates, and we want to get you in that low interest rate, which requires a better credit score. Right. So hopefully this is good information. Your credit is everything in buying a home.
That is one thing that I always taught my son. Please just
Absolutely.
always never ruin your credit. Pay your bills first.
Absolutely, and young people need to hear that, because recovering from it is a very difficult thing.
Yes, it takes a long time.
Thanks for coming by and visiting with me today, and thanks for watching today's show. We've got beautiful homes for sale in your area. Please stay tuned, and we'll be right back. I hope you've enjoyed watching the Stephen Cooley Real Estate Show. If you're interested in advertising your business on the program, please give us a call at 803-326-2777. Join us next week for more discussions on real estate topics and help in finding your perfect home. Thanks for watching.